Good day, Ms. Shaw. My presentation today will be about marijuana legalization and reasons marijuana should be legal. I will talk about the social benefits of decriminalization, the economic benefits, and the benefits of regulation. After that, I will read my conclusion. My introduction included a hook. My hook stated that recreational marijuana, a stunning plant placed on earth by God Himself, has been criminalized. During my research, I found many benefits about marijuana, including medical benefits and economic benefits. I also found facts about marijuana. The medical benefits included treating malaria, gout, and rheumatism. The economical benefits included making clothes, manufacturing ropes from the fibers of marijuana. And some facts about marijuana was it was classed as a Schedule I drug with LSD and heroin, and the prison populations increased since recreational marijuana was criminalized. Recreational marijuana and medicinal marijuana have the same benefits, and legalizing recreational marijuana can have major social, regulatory, and economic benefits, which is why it should be legalized. That was my thesis statement at the bottom right there. The social benefits of decriminalizing recreational marijuana. My first benefit was legalizing marijuana will reduce the amount of interactions teenagers have with the persons on the black market, meaning if it's sold in stores, it's better for your teenagers to buy recreational marijuana in stores than from a complete stranger, a complete criminal, and on the black market. My second benefit was that legalization can help minimize the amount of violent drug-related crimes in America, which really complements my first benefit because if it's sold in stores, it can minimize the interactions between the person looking for the product and the person on the black market. There's so many things that can go wrong between the transactions between a buyer and the seller of drugs, of any drug, matter of fact, that's not legal. My third benefit was approximately one of every 7 American adults has used marijuana in the past year. The recreational marijuana does not do nowhere close to damage heroin, cocaine, or LSD, but millions of our young men are being incarcerated for small marijuana possessions. The economic benefits. My first economic benefits was legalizing marijuana would allow for appropriate taxation and marketplace for creative enterprise. Meaning, if recreational marijuana is taxed properly and sold at the right places, and it can make a good amount of money, which can help the economy grow on a large scale. It can create churches, more schools, more job opportunities, really. My second benefit was marijuana has so many health benefits, including treatment of intraocular pressure from glaucoma, nausea, and vomiting, usually associated with chemotherapy, pain management, spasticity associated with multiple sclerosis, and wasting syndrome in AIDS patients. My benefits of regulation. My first benefit was there is no medically documented fatal overdose of death of marijuana, but there are many documented fatal overdoses of other drugs, such as ecstasy and all those other legal drugs that are prescribed to patients from doctors. My second benefit was legalizing and regulating marijuana can reduce the amount of accidents caused by DUIs, lower the amount of deaths caused by overdose to other illicit drugs, and unlike alcohol, marijuana causes relaxation. If there is a group of people together drinking alcohol, they won't make the wisest decision. This was my favorite part of the paper, the rebuttal and the counterclaim. My first counterclaim was that marijuana has risks. My opponents would argue and say that marijuana should be legal because it has risks and can cause short-term memory loss and also lung cancer. They would also say that it causes impaired thinking and difficulty focusing, which is true, which is really true. My rebuttal says that everything has risks. Everything really has risk, the way I'm talking right now, my braces in my mouth is accumulating so much spit right now. You know, I can't really speak properly, and I can choke on my own, saliva. But all of these risks that marijuana supposedly has are also caused by other legal drugs, such as ecstasy again. And I don't really know many drugs that's prescribed by doctors, but I know there's many drugs that's prescribed by doctors that are taken by patients, and they cause the same problems. Marijuana causes impaired thinking and difficulty focusing, which is true in some cases, but so does alcohol, and it's still legal. In major causes, marijuana is actually used to treat persons with impaired thinking, and alcohol and smoking cigarettes are more harmful to the human body than marijuana will ever be, but they are still legal. Rebuttal 2 and counterclaim 2. Our second counterclaim was the gateway drug. Sorry. Marijuana is a gateway drug, and that smoking marijuana leads to an individual trying more harmful and illicit drugs. It is linked to alcohol and illicit drugs like cocaine. So what I understood from this statement that my opponent said is that if whatever you try before other illicit drugs is, basically a gateway drug, which is safe to say that alcohol is the real gateway drug because the majority of children try alcohol more than tobacco and marijuana before moving on to more illicit drugs. And if you want to say because majority of people tried marijuana before moving on to illicit drugs, you can say majority of people tried chocolate milk, coffee, and chocolate bars and stuff like that before they moved on to illicit drugs. So that was my second rebuttal. Alcohol is the real gateway drug because the majority of children tried alcohol more than tobacco and marijuana before moving on to more illicit drugs. My conclusion, which is straight from my paper. Marijuana should be legalized for many reasons. It has health benefits, economic benefits, social benefits, and regulatory benefits. It isn't for everybody, but it shouldn't be criminalized. Why criminalize a plant that was placed here on earth for us to use? It does no harm to anybody, and it has social, economic, and regulatory benefits. Again, it should be legalized so the economy can start to thrive on it instead of letting illegal drug dealers in the black market sell it to our kids on the street. There are so many things that can go wrong with that, such as kidnapping and lacing the drugs. If legalized, the interactions between teenagers and illegal drug dealers will minimize, and you will be taking power away from these drug dealers. It is time to legalize recreational marijuana and stop incarceration our young men for a piece of bush. And those are my references. Boom. Yeah, this was very hard. Doing it over and over and over and over again. Especially my braces. My braces really causes so many problems with me speaking. That's why I didn't want to do it in front of the class.